How do button pushes? Oh. Make sure that I don't randomly cut out. Let's do that. Maybe a little bit of that. La 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 la. Hey. Oh no. So you got the microphone. Oh my god. Why is the microphone's sort of like fully in shot, and if I move it too far away, that's actually part of the Onion Knight. This is fair. Oh, just touching his little chin. Oh, you gonna do little chin? Hello. Hope everyone is doing well. I am really fucking tired. I'm super depressed. I've had supposed to be going away on the weekend, but there was storm warnings, there was flood warnings, my trains weren't running, so I didn't go away. So I was just like miserable. I'm just miserable today, so you're gonna have to bear with me. And you know, now you can be miserable too. Fuck you. How about that? How's that? Good afternoon. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Well, thank you very much, Premier Boris. I'm not. I'm having a shit day. Just in a really bad mood all weekend. So I'll probably be fine tomorrow. I'm bipolar, so I mean it's up and down. It's, you know, I'll be mega depressed some seconds and then I'll be on top of the world. So it's all good. Got new 2080 Ti. Been recording some B-roll footage with the help of some people from my Discord occasionally. I'm planning to continue that throughout the week. I was going to do some today, but well, I got some mining B-roll today, and I'll probably put up a test video up of mining gameplay. That seems reasonable, right? Or something. Can I get a tongue waggle? What? Why do you want to? What? Yeah, you can. Why not? If anyone would like to ask a question, let me get human words out. If anyone would like to ask a question, please put question in brackets, and I'll do my best to answer you. It can be about Star Citizen. It can be about me. It can be about mental health. It can be about anything you want, really. I have various different levels, degrees of being able to answer your questions based on what they are. There's loads of new VoIP settings in 3.6.1. It took me ages to get the right resolution to frame rate from the camera. Lower frame rates that seem to work reasonably better, though getting the resolution and the frame rate. If you can get 60 frames, good and a reasonable refresh rate, working well, that's probably the most accurate I've had. But I'll put some details up on that later. Background noise? What? There might be background noise. I don't know. Maybe it's bored ASMR. I don't think that would be appropriate for anyone. Maybe I'll do like a little ASMR little video for the VIPs at some point. Yeah, fuck it, why not? I'll put it on the list of things to do this month. Talk gently into the microphone and talk sort of like sexy Star Citizen. Oh, sexy patch notes reading. 3.6.x. It was a big one. I mean, like, it's maybe not. Damn, Star Citizen will never be 100% done, but we can all dream, can't we? Well, I hope it's never 100% done. I hope they get all the features they currently got listed in, but then I hope they keep on adding more and more and more to the game. And I hope that it is truly never done. In the same way World of Warcraft's not 100% done. Do you see what I mean? It'll be free to play, come out in 10 years on the PS6. Like they will pump out a good few many more consoles before that. We'll be in the cloud, mate. We'll be living in the cloud. Oh, you're smart. I don't have faith in Star Citizen. I have confidence. Yes, that is a correct. Well, that's a much better way of living your life. If you want to have faith in things, you can have hope, I suppose. but then you realise you're like sort of like being lucky. You can have confidence in something. You can base your opinions and stuff on the empirical evidence provided to you, and you can come to a different conclusion than other people do. Premier Boris, oh, thank you very much. Premier Boris, resubscribed for 5 months. It's a long time. Tony Schlutz, thank you very much for your Patreon. Patreon adage. Get some little bonuses on the Patreon and on the YouTube member. Here on the Twitch. It's just all, you know, it's all ways of chucking money at me, and I do appreciate it. Enjoy the process and looks into it rather than anxiously focus on the finished product. I enjoy the process. Oh, wait, okay, I see what you mean. Sorry, I just read it in an asked about face way. Okay, yeah, I love the project. Like, it's the project warts and all, with all the stuff that goes wrong, as well as the triumphs and the technical sort of progression. Is pretty cool. Obviously a very long project, much longer than any of us would have wanted. Does anyone know if Star Citizen is putting any effort into making the game a little less demanding for PC hardware? Yes, Chad. So they want Vulkan integration, which should make the game significantly more scalable, but the idea is that they will keep on building the game to be more scalable and more optimized. So that means that even for less demanding PC hardware, you should have options for you to be able to play it at your preferred frame rate, is the idea. Game will be finished when people stop buying ships. That's a ridiculous statement. They have a lot more they want to do. They're not like a publisher. They're not going to suddenly go, oh god, we need to get the game out. They're not like a big publisher like EA or something. They're not going to be responsive to that. The way they funded the game and the way they've decided to do their funding model, for better or for worse, is with regular ship sales. Now, if they suddenly stopped getting ship sales, yeah, they'd have to scale back the game. But hopefully once they started selling, like Squadron 42, which is likely to happen, well, I'm hoping that we get a release date for Squadron 42 at CitizenCon, but once they start selling Squadron 42, which should be within the next year, 18 months, whatever, 2 years, whatever the fuck, they'll have a load of money again, and they'll continue to develop Star Citizen. They've just ran out of money. Do you see what I mean? On like a larger state, in bigger scale. So, I mean, people stopping buying ships and then their money drying up wouldn't make the game come out quicker. Not at this stage. It might have originally. So I'm not going to overly say people should chuck a load of money in Star Citizen, because I don't think they should. But I'm just saying that people stopping buying ships entirely and all their money drying up would not make the game come faster. Confidence in my employees is based on their proof of skill. Faith would be based solely on blindly believing in their CV. Yeah, I suppose. But I understand that you're live, but later, when the video is posted on YouTube, could you cut these long silent bits? And also, plan ahead, and don't go shitting. What? Did I have a poo last time? That sounds like something I might have done. I don't know, maybe I'll cut this bit at the beginning, maybe I won't. Who knows? You know, you don't run me, Shaka 12. Where are all the other Shakas taken? Well, I'm not taking criticism well today. Star Citizen is total boring. ES will have in 2 years the same situation every 3 months, server resets, and blah blah. I'm not sure what you're trying to get at, because that wasn't in human English sentences. But I get the feeling that you're not interested in Star Citizen currently, which is fair enough. In The Empire Strikes Back, the FUX guys, the sound effects guys, included a shoe and a potato in the asteroid field. Little known facts is that the potato was actually the rocket ship that carried Baby Board to Earth. What are you talking about, Simon Morris? What is this stream? Why? Oh, Toblith is giving me money. That helps drive away the depression. Vast amounts of cash. $20. Thank you very much. Hey man, did you get around to reading Starship Troopers yet? No, I didn't. Maybe I'll read it after this stream. Fuck it. I think it's still in its box that I got it into Amazon from. Oh. Thanks, Toblith. You're the best. You recommend me a book. I did buy it. I got it really fucking cheap as well. I'm the worst. I read it out this weekend when I was bored. think about buying into this grand charade. What hardware would I need to get somewhat stable FPS? So, at the moment, something like a 1070 or more is pretty good for Star Citizen. Any of the new Super series, so 2060 Super onwards, they're pretty solid. The 5700 XTs are pretty cheap and pretty good from AMD. Processor-wise, you can get away with most modern-ish processors from 4th Gen Intel's onwards. I lost my brain there. Star Citizen will be scalable to multiple cores in the future. You want at least 16 gigs of RAM. I've got 64, but that's because I do lots of video sort of like compression and manipulation and stuff. Storm CIG and see Squadron 42 progress instead of Area 51. I like it. Hashtag streamer problems. It's not a streamer problem, it's general life problems. I'm depressed because I'm depressed. I'm depressed because I'm bipolar. I'm depressed because we're all heading towards entropy and a bit bored and meh and today. Tried to film some stuff for mining earlier and I rammed the ground and I did stupid stuff and the audio didn't record on my first time. It wasn't Star Citizen sort actually, it's pretty much all my error, but I just got a bit disheartened because of that. So I've got a half-assed video going out in like an hour or so. Grow my hair out. You want me to grow my hair out? Wow. Did someone put something on the top of my head a minute ago I didn't see? I should have looked. But I don't think I should grow my hair out, mate. Well, I would actually. I'd love to. I'd love to, but I'm pretty much bald, aren't I? Hey, Bored, I will gladly absorb some of your bad mood. Give it to me. Oh, got a bit steamy again. I've got plenty of good vibes to spread around, sending good vibes to everyone. I've actually, the things that have been making me a little bit happier are Stephen Chow films. I've been watching stupid Asian comedy films, his older ones. So he did Kung Fu Hustle and Journey to the West and stuff more recently. Done some very, very odd ones like From Beijing with Love, which is take over all the Bond films and very odd Asian humour. It's very good. I want the 890 jump as well, so we know that there's going to be a 3.6 point X or 3.6 branch patch at some point within the next couple of months that will have the 890 jump, ship rentals, and deeper, or at least planned to have deeper field sort of like updates. I don't think it's going to be the full signed field tech stuff, but it might be towards that. But 890 jump, yeah, massive ship. They've been prototyping missions on it. So like I think they've like FPS missions where they're using it as I'm not sure if it's a derelict. I'm not sure if it's a ship that's assaultable or something. Hopefully it's assaultable in space. You'll come across it. That'll be absolutely amazing if that's the case. But it's got like 68 rooms. It's 210 meters long, significantly larger than we originally expected. Only going to be landable at Lawville and Area 18 to start with as well. Predictions for what will be shown at CitizenCon. I think we'll see Squadron 42 trailer and potentially some more gameplay from Squadron 42. Hopefully a new vertical slice. And I would expect to see a Squadron 42 release date for episode 1. That is my major expectations there. When it comes to the Citizen universe, I expect we'll see a straight-to-flyable ship in the form of the RSI Mantis, which is that 30-meter heavy fighter that was sort of leaked a while ago by SC Leaks. See some near-future gameplay with 3.8 and 3.9, so probably, looking at the roadmap, new Babbage, so Microtech, Planet Microtech there, and Orison, Crusader, but also I would think we potentially might see jump points and the sort of like Pyro or Pyro and Nick system. I'm sorry I keep on saying Pyro, but Pyro. Is that better? Is that better for people? I'm British, I can speak how I want and it's right. But then we'll have a full day of panels probably, with Tony Zurek probably one of the best ones, but they'll probably have a state of the sort of like road to release, things like that. So expect to see some near future gameplay for Star Citizen, and some plans for the future. Probably, well, potentially see some other straight to flyable or concept ships and vehicles. Maybe Titan suits, is what I'm hoping for there. Hardware-wise, you don't need much to run Star Citizen at 60 frames, or at least have the potential to run it at 60 frames. If you're running at like 1080p, especially, because I run at 1440p or 4K, I get like between 80 and 120 typically, and when at 1440p. Sometimes you'll have problem zones and they'll be like, there's low performance in this area, and you'll be like, oh, everyone has 30 frames or sub in this particular area for some reason. So server problems and game optimization aside, yes, something like a 1070 and 4th gen go onwards is going to be fine, and you don't need that much. What concept ships would you recommend people avoiding looking to upgrade from the Cutty and not sure where to go? Depends what you want to do, Nicholas Wood. Most of the stuff you'll be able to get it in game, and a lot of the stuff you'll be able to get in game pretty soundly, and you'd be cutting out a portion of the game's gameplay by buying too many ships or buying the ship you just always want straight away. But that said, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. Something like an upgrade from the Cutlass for me might be the Corsair, which is going to be pretty multi-role, but it is geared towards a bit more of exploration. But there's also going to be like the Mercury Star Runner, which is going to give you a bit of data running and cargo running sort of gameplay. Depends on what you sort of want to do. The like higher end of multi-role ships would be probably the Carrack, again geared towards exploration, but going to be very, very, very suitable for lots and lots and lots of gameplay. When come the new 3.6.1 update? I can't wait. So 3.6.1 is just quality of life updates, and it's pretty good. It's pretty stable. I have had 2 crashes since 3.6.1 E PTU, the latest PTU came out. So I'm not sure I did that noise, but I fucking did. So could be today. We could get 3.6.1 today. That ready. Any word on this month's concierge event in Germany? Still expecting an Anvil Corvette to be announced. Yeah, easy the goon. So 24th of August, there's a concierge event in Germany. I'm not going to this concierge event. I did try and get a ticket, but they sold out instantly, and I won't poke CIG for, you know, what words am I looking for? Special things, free things, you know, favoritism, whatever. Because then people will just say I'm a shill, and rightly so at that point. And people will say I'm a shill, whatever. But I always think it's fine to be a shill as long as you've got full disclosure and people can then make their own decision. I'm not employed by CIG or Star Citizen in any way beyond that. That's the sort of subject for my YouTube channel, and I'll cover the game how I see fit. Yeah. But with the... So it's an Anvil... No, it's an Aegis, not Anvil. It's not an Anvil Corvette, it's Aegis. It's Aegis! I'm pretty sure it's Aegis. It's an Aegis event, so I'm expecting to see an Aegis capital ship go on sale then. That they've said that there's going to be a new ship or vehicle, I believe ship, announced at that event. But it will be like an intimate little dinner and studio tour and questions and answers, and then they should be able to see this awesome new ship or concept. It might be straight to flyable, more likely to be a concept though. But I'll cover it as soon as we know more. Do we know much about story narrative plans for the persistent universe? Can we influence them to add loads? Yeah, Tomato. I mean, part of the project is giving CIG ideas and influencing them. So depending on how good you are at talking and composing, sort of like things on the forums or whatever, or making videos or whatever, you might be able to influence the devs via that medium. Suggestions, lots of different ways. But expect like story arcs and sort of like in the future, once we have a live game that's got proper progression, expect them to have sort of like incursions and big wars going on and cold wars, and maybe even the we'll go to war with the Xi'an or stuff like that. What is a good all-round starter ship? starter, I'd go for a Mustang Alpha. If you want to spend a little tiny bit more, then go for an Avenger Titan. The Avenger Titan gives you more cargo room, it's a solid fighter, allows you to go into like most gameplay, and then beyond that's like the Cutlass Black. The Darth Tux, so I want at least 60 frames per second, even at 4K. So I'd reduce my resolution down to a state where I could get frames at least. What features of the RSI Mantis would you be happiest with? Some cargo, redundant features like Vanguard? I don't know really. I mean, it's going to be. It's supposed to be a heavy fighter, so I don't need cargo. I want it to be focused on being a heavy fighter. It being reasonably long range would be useful. I'd like to see a heavy fighter that sort of focuses on scanning and detection, maybe. Be useful. I don't really know. With the death of a starman or spaceman, what will happen to my victims after they've been tricked into the mouth of a giant sandworm? I believe they're probably just insta-dying. If there's things that have gaping maws that munch on you, it'll probably just be death. Although maybe there's a mission inside it, like desiccated? An old dead sandworm. Have a good weekend? No, I had a shit weekend. Your take on the current state of the UI and its future trajectory. They are working hard and updating all the Hudson UIs. I will save my criticism and opinions until I see a bit more. I like the new HUD on the Gladius. I like the UIs that they're starting to build, the in-game like hacking ones for in-game interaction. It's going towards the right way, but again, there's a lot that needs to come for that. What goodies you expect and think they're going to give you at this CitizenCon? I don't know. I mean, obviously, some people got Optane drives last year. That's a very expensive gift. There's obviously going to be the old like little pin badges and lots of chos, as I call it, point of sale chos, like maybe a little model and sort of like postcards and things like that. I do like the pins. I do collect the pins. I mean, if they've got, maybe some people will get face webcams. I mean, that's the sort of thing they might decide to talk about. Cubity Wop Wop. Bob Core, thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated. And JR! Damn your timing board. About to run to a meeting at work, so I'll watch your beautiful face and unlive later. I love you, JR. JR. Bob Core, Toblith, you're the best. I love you. Thank you very much. Best ship, question mark. It's dependent on what you want to do as a role. I think a lot of people will probably love the Carrack for its versatility. At the moment, the Arrow's pretty great. Price point. The Cutlass Black allows you to do a little bit of everything. The Prospector's the best mining ship in the game at the moment. Like, I mean, when the Orion's out, the Orion might be better. I'm assuming it would be because it's a giant strip miner, but you know, if CIG have said anything about the Origin customizer not working at the moment? No, and I didn't actually know it wasn't working. Play with it in a bit. Maybe it's my perspective, but it seems CIG pushes out a decent amount of ship concepts and sales, but take the sweet time to make them flyable, years at a time. What are your thoughts? Some of them that's true, others that's not true. Some of the older concepts are still not out because they haven't got refined pipelines for them, or because they're not needed for Squadron 42 or the Persistent Universe in the short term. It's a mixed bag, so you get ships and vehicles like the Dragonfly coming out relatively quickly. Saber and stuff relatively quickly, but get others that still aren't out that were some of the originals. So I do think that every 6 to 8 weeks we get a concept sale. They're producing ships a lot quicker now. They're moving towards straight to flyable for all ships as well now, so they want to cut out the sort of concept phase where possible. It's not going to be entirely for all ships, but they want to cut out a lot of concept sales and go straight to bam, the ship's released with a sale. What they've done with the Blister, but they also probably will do the Mantis and some other things. You honestly believe the Squadron 42 timeline? You think that beta will be Q2 2020? I think it's a possibility. I think that the timeline and the roadmap shows what their current aims are. So I believe that that is their current aim, to get beta Q2 2020. I think it's more likely at the moment that it will be Q3 2020 for a beta, but I do believe that most of the studio is, well, a large portion of the studio is working on Squadron 42 and getting that out the door. Oh, you need an SSD to install Star Citizen. That is true. But you can get SSDs so cheap now, so. Do you ever think we'll see a Cloverfield-sized monster to hunt? Well, there's the giant sandworms, so maybe doing things that sort of giant-sized mega monsters, probably quite resource-intensive because CIG would want to make them look really beautiful. So maybe sandworms, maybe some other stuff. Have you noticed a resurgence of a lot of older bugs in 3.6? Ships not spawning components? Yes, I have noticed that, although 3.6.1e, it seems to happen a lot less, or at least I haven't had any problems with that. Quantum travel through planets, that was fixed in E. Items falling through floors, etc. Yeah, that sometimes those bugs just seem to happen. You always see with each of the PTE patches and some of the release patches, bugs, like a resurgence of them, or old bugs coming back. It's really fucking annoying when an old bug comes back, especially when it's like the exact same bug. So hopefully Star Citizen will be in a better state with 3.6.1, but it happens sometimes, yeah. When does CIG plan to update their medical gameplay? Last details I see are from back in 2013. You should start to see some medical gameplay talked about probably this month, I would actually expect. They want to get in as soon as possible, as far as I'm aware, the ability to use medipens on other people for get hospitals open and get some like tracking medical gameplay and stuff like that. So not sure in what order, but also we're getting the cutlass thread and things like that as well. I'm hoping that they make some of the medical ships respawn points for your party members in the short term, but we'll have to wait and see. For proper medical gameplay and sort of like patching up your guy, I don't know. I'm hoping that we'll get some more details at CitizenCon. Potentially when the roadmap's updated, we'll see some more bits about that on there. I'm expecting a roadmap update for the Q2 2020 Persistent Universe patch, which people are saying to me might be 3.10 rather than 4.0. It's largely irrelevant. It's the next patch that's not currently on the roadmap. Sorry if I'm a bit stuttery and a little fumbly today, but you know, I'm in a fucking weird mood, so apologies. Bipolar. I prefer the term emotionally action-packed. Oh my god. We need to seize the means of Star Citizen production. I'm a good few minutes behind, so you'll have to bear with me. The 890 jump could easily get pushed back to 3.7. That is a possibility, I suppose, yeah. I think they'll try and get it in a 3.6 branch patch. Same as ship rentals. I mean, it could all get pushed back to 3.7. It's possible that as well at CitizenCon that we'll have an in-game event, but also we might get a 3.7.5 patch. Maybe 3.7 will be a lot lighter patch-wise. They'll save some bits back for CitizenCon effectively. Maybe this has already been answered, but is there any hidden word on whether 3.6.1 PTU might drop live anytime soon? There's no hidden word on it. My expectation is, because the patch is pretty good, is that we'll probably have a release candidate or live today. I want to trade. I would expect a 3.6.1 to have a wipe as well. They haven't confirmed that, but they haven't said no either. When do you think they'll add a new system? I think we'll see a new system next year, but I think we'll see new systems at CitizenCon as well this year. Is CIG going to Gamescom? I don't believe so, but they'll have a presence there. They typically try to have presence at Gamescom. think there's some bar citizens and stuff as well around the event. I saw the patch notes video 3.6.1 PTU. Cargo boxes falling through stuff. Do they work with the 300 series cargo ramp as well now? Yeah, I did. I checked with the 3. I'm pretty sure the 300 series work in 3.6.1 E PTU. Cargo not falling through the floor. Whether or not that will survive till live is another story, but it should be pretty solid. Is there going to be a free fly for the 890 jump? I think RSI subscribers might get access to it. Pretty sure maybe it's the top tier subscribers get access to ship for like a little while after a patch comes out. Favors was the word I was looking for many minutes ago. How is Horizon, or whatever it's called, coming along? How long until our very own City in the Clouds? Well, it's pegged for 3.9, which is Q1 2020. But I'm expecting we will see Horizon, Crusader, all done to at least its sort of like first iteration for 3.9 Q1 2020, but also at CitizenCon, see some sort of, that's my expectation, something there. Definitely American Con is planned for Star Citizen. I feel left out in the States. So they, with CitizenCon, they move it around. So it will go, next year it'll be maybe in the United States and then in Frankfurt. They move it around to their major studios. But also there's Star Citizens regularly in the US. Servers do you play on? In my experience with 3.6.1, PTU is 30,014 kicks. I might have had one of those, but I included that in my crash count. I hope the concierge event ship is the new Redeemer. It's possible, but they did say with the new Redeemer, it's become a gunship. We know that, like true gunship. More on the gun rather than the drop. And might not be Aegis anymore. So it's an Aegis event, and they didn't confirm it was going to be an Aegis ship even, so for the Redeemer. Can't seem to win any of the giveaways. Well, how am I doing wrong? There's a lot of people involved in them. What do you want from me? Well, I know what you want from me. You want me to make you win. I can't. Sorry, dude. There's this very slim possibility you might win a giveaway. Someone does. Do you expect the Squadron 42 beta to be more or less stable? What? Yes. So the idea was that alpha might be a bit unstable, but the beta should be just need of balance and some bug fixes. How much content do you expect to be contained in the beta? Squadron 42 beta, I'm not sure if anyone beyond either Cardi, maybe, will be able to play it. It's going to be not a game that gets much play testing with the community, if at all any, even with Uvacati. So maybe QA. And for the beta should be feature complete. That's the idea. Will we be able to spawn back to our ship bed on the A90 jump or Kraken or very large ships? That's not the plan unless you log out and log back in, and then you'll be back in the bed of the ship that you logged out in, if you logged out in the bed of the ship. If you die, the plan, I believe, is to spawn on hospitals, though the 890 jump does have a medical facility, so maybe you'll be able to spawn in the med bay. It depends on how they implement stuff. Hoping that there are ways that you can use med bays to respawn. It just makes it a lot more sense, even for the full game. Any idea when we can expect the 3.6.x patch with the 890? The plan should be within the next couple of months. So before 3.7, I would expect to see it at the end of this month if we're lucky. The 890 jump is a pointless ship and waste of time and resources. Change my mind! Pazazu La Paz. No, I think some people obviously going to use it as a very sort of focused focused multi-role ship, but it's a giant luxury VIP ship. It's going to be like it's going to be great for orgs to show off their wealth and power. It's not as functional. It's a lot of form over function, but I do think it's going to be reasonably good at being a capital ship. Probably going to allow you access to some VIP gameplay, sort of like maybe taking NPC VIPs around. But also it's going to be one of those ships that people just want to explore and chill out in the verse with. It's going to be pretty multi-role. Exploration's probably going to be pretty good. If they have the Genesis Starliner sort of like transporting passengers around, maybe you can make a lot of money doing that. Oh, Toblith! Ah, I love the ships in game, and once the combat systems are fleshed out, it'll be amazing in that respect. My biggest concern is the game's economics. Credits and power go hand in hand to drive compelling gameplay. I want to see what we will be fighting over. Yes, the economy needs to both be self-sufficient and drive itself. Because you need reasons to make money, you need reasons to spend money, and you need sort of like the economy to work in a way that doesn't create superinflation constantly. Prices just infinitely rise. So you need the economy to lots of things to be spent on, lots of things to be lost. And Eve used to do it pretty well. And CIG do have an interesting sort of way of dealing with a lot of the stuff as well, because it's not entirely player-led economy. It's a simulated economy that CIG can edit bits on the fly or change bits around. Although the economy is supposed to be dynamic and is going to reward clever gameplay and people that are industrious, is the idea. It all ties into the mission system and the AI simulation and all this sort of stuff. So yes, the economy for me is the most important part of the game, and the sort of industry behind that. The reasons that people fight aren't just to fight. They're to get wealth, they're to make money, they're to complete missions, they're to support and escort their teammates who are making money on industry or whatever, potentially. I remember meeting you at BoredGamer 2018. Just like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you're shorter than I thought you would be. The screen must add 3 inches. BoredGamer 2018, yes. I'm pretty short. I'm 5'7". I'm quite wide though. I'm not necessarily particularly fat, although I'm a bit tubby. I'm just quite, I'm quite stocky. I'm like a tall dwarf. At what level of backing do you become a concierge? 1,000 of your foolish dollars. Not going to tell anyone what to do with their money, obviously, because that's not my place. I'll say what I do with my money. I mean, I spend $3,000 of it on Star Citizen, but no, it's spending money on games. You just have to have a lot of spare capital to have to do that and support the project. Like, I only had $5,000 in the world. I would spend most of that money on my rig probably, and very little on Star Citizen. Always need a computer. Don't know if it's just the drugs you're actually shimmering. I'm shimmering a bit. I don't know that the lights are all in different places. I've moved my monitors and stuff as well. But it's a really low effort stream today. You have to fucking deal with it. I'm so sorry. I'm in a really depressed, bad mood. Although Toblith is literally the best person in the fucking world. Toblith, I love you. Wave. Don't know why that's there. U2 2020 Squadron is not going to happen. Chris Roberts will come with another excuse why it's delayed. I mean, Chris Roberts doesn't want stuff to be delayed. He wants to make a great game, and he wants to be a billionaire. Okay? Now, he needs to make a great game to be a billionaire. He can't line his pockets with backer money. They don't want stuff to be delayed, especially Squadron 42. Squadron 42 represents a finished product. The persistent universe, yeah, they might want to delay stuff with that until it's perfect. Squadron 42, they'll probably say the same, but they do want to get Squadron 42 out the door, because it makes them a bollock ton of cash. Game going on the shelf release. Oh. Once the game goes full release, will that be the end of CitizenCon? Will they still do them? They've already transitioned into making them fan events, fan fests. Eve does EveCon, whatever the hell it's called. Regularly, the game's released. They'll want to do them even when the game is full released. In fact, I think that's better celebration of what's going to be new in the game every year. trying to decide between these options, what would you pick? Vanguard and UEC? What? UEC2? Not sure what that means, UEC2. Vanguard and UEC. I see, there's poor spacing. 2 a Caterpillar, or 3 a Taurus and a Prospector, or 4 a Freelancer Max and a Prospector. Oh. Maybe a Taurus and either the Caterpillar or the Taurus and the Prospector. Don't use money to buy UEC. Ugh. When do you think they will restrict quantum travel when inside asteroid fields and certain nebula? Yeah, there might be. So I think there will be like Weber fires and environmental effects, which will sort of like quantum interdict you. There's obviously going to be quantum interdiction devices, but the quantum dampen you is probably a better idea. Saying it, but yes, I think there'll be some environmental effects that do that. With asteroids, maybe it's going to be the environmental hazard, but it could just be things are in your way for aligning. Does this qualify for a ship giveaway comment? No. The live stream comments are not taken into account because they're not saved in correctly. I can't export them. If you're commenting on this as a video, so when it's not live, yes, that will count. But when it's live, no, because I can't export these comments. Vanguard will improve in 3.6.x or 3.7 or not. Yeah, you might see some updates to it. 3.7 is planned to have its variants as well. I'm hoping the variants actually go to the shop as well on the website, so they can have some manufacturer customization there. So I would expect some improvements, yes. Going back to beta, Chris Roberts stated object container streaming and persistence in start beta, but those will be ready before the rest of the game mechanics and content. What are your thoughts? I'm not entirely sure what you mean. So server-side object container streaming is needed for Squadron 42. Full persistence and server-side object container streaming is needed so that the game, well, they say once they have that, they might not necessarily need to reset so often or at all anymore. So that's for the persistent universe. But yeah, we need server-side object container streaming, which they are testing internally. They've had successful tests. They're using it. I suspect it's actually pretty close. Ranger bikes being implemented, nothing said at all. So we don't know. They're obviously reasonably recent concept, but they're pretty small and simple. I'd expect to see them next year. I think Star Citizen World seem futuristic enough compared to Netflix Altered Carbon. It is 930 years into the future, and personally, I don't think I do. Awesome game though. Yeah, so some of the tech isn't particularly super high tech. Like, it's not 930 years in the future sort of super tech. It's lots of themed planets with different sort of like styles of technology. But I think that Star Citizen's a bit more of a tactile, no super AI experience. Robots doing all the things for you. How you doing, man? I'm doing okay. I mean, I'm not. I'm doing shit. I'm just mega depressed, tired, just in a bit of a crappy mood. Lame weekend, wanted to go up and see some friends, but the trains weren't running. There will be mechs. There's going to be the Titan suits, which are more like Iron Man suits, so like power loaders / Iron Man. So they're mech-like. There are people on Star Citizen that used to work on MechWarrior Online, and they do love mechs. So maybe in the future we will see more mech-like things. Why is there no progress in Squadron 42, even if we forget Persistent Universe? What is CIG up to? Why is there so limited stuff coming out like there is stuff? I'm not sure what you mean. They're working on Squadron 42, they have been for ages. They don't show stuff off from Squadron 42 very much. I would expect them to show lots of stuff off at Squadron 42, Episode 1 wise, at this year's CitizenCon, because it makes sense that they need to start marketing it. But Squadron 42 has been very... always said that that's going to be the case, because they don't want to have spoilers for their sort of like premiere product. 550 staff, of which a good portion of them are game developers. I know, don't worry too much about me, Stormfire or anyone else. And just by Polo, I just get up and down, and like it's super erratic, and I'll be fine later. Just a bit in a fucking mood. So I've got a user chat program which takes stuff from Discord and from Reddit, from YouTube, from Twitch, from every fucking thing. From everything. Takes it from Patreon and not subscribe star. Takes it from everything. That chat feed. I think it takes it from Twitter as well. So a gameplay question: why, when I view ship loadings, it says read only? Are only some ships customizable, or do I have to do it in the hangar? You should be able to do it from your Mobiglass in the Vehicle Manager app once you've bought the thing. Can do it in your hangar as well, but I'd do it just in game. Maybe it's because the ship's not there or it already exists in game. Make sure it's not out. Make sure the ship is in storage. Do you think that after the 890 jump comes out, the CIG will take another look at the 600i? They have said they would. Are alien ships able to have their components swapped around? Could I put different weapons on my blade, for example? I believe so, but some are going to have very restricted differences, weapons. So some might be, they're fixed on there, they can't be moved. Some might be, yes, you can move them, but only for other ones. They're going to have a more limited range, or only with other Vandal weapons. Or some of them, yeah, maybe they have a gimbal mount that you can chuck on there to use a human weapon or UE weapon or whatever. Had anything on the Ranger bikes? No. I'm expecting them next year because they're simple as hell. Are there going to be future iterations of quantum jumps? Going to be quantum interdiction. They're going to keep on iterating on quantum travel in the game. They need to start talking about fuel, because we don't know how we get quantum fuel properly. Like, how's it mined? They talked about it being solid. So the general quantum travel system will keep on getting updates as well. It's obviously linked to the star map. It's linked to so many other little components. When do you think the Caterpillar will be on sale again? Is it not? Definitely, pretty much everything will be on sale on the 23rd of November. Why so little results? Are you talking about Squadron 42? Isn't going to be something that you can play, Amir? It's not something you can play until it's released. So you don't see much of that either. You see sort of like more major things like we see in the background. There's sort of like vertical slice and stuff, and maybe you'll see more of that at like special events or on trailers. Star Citizen, they are making big technical milestones. This year has been a concerted push towards Squadron 42 stuff, which, yeah, it's annoying because we don't get to see so much of that. As far as I'm aware, they're making good progress with that. You can see on the roadmap. But yeah, there is little tangible gameplay for us this year compared to what otherwise got if they weren't focusing on Squadron 42, I suppose. There's a lot of the core of the game that's not done properly. Still refining the flight model. They still need to get physicalized components in. They need to get hover mode working. They need to get the physical damage system in. They need to get the AI working. There's a load of stuff. You're seeing very, very, very weak progress, or a small amount of progress, because it's focused on Squadron 42. I've done loads of videos on it. Sorry, I didn't really know what you were getting at before. Human, elf, or dwarf? Favorite D&D race? Human. Not elf. The heavy gate and aggressive attack on your mic. It's artistic choice. It's just because I haven't set it up properly. I have to change it for the stream compared to when I'm recording. I'll make it a bit more sensitive so people can hear me. There shouldn't be a heavy gate on it. So there's a gate on it. Good about Phoenix Point, what do you think about it? When I first saw Phoenix Point in alpha ages ago, it was like a really cool looking XCOM game. It's like, cool, looks great. I know there's Epic Store exclusive stuff that's pissed people off. I don't know much more about it beyond that. So I'll take a look at it again at some point. Do you think there are old concepts which no longer make sense to be made for Star Citizen? For the announced ones, no, they probably are all okay. I mean, I think the Redeemer is probably one of the big ones that they regret because it's not going to be made to their metrics. But I think pretty much, actually, I'll tell you some ships that they probably regret making. A lot of different named Auroras, because all the Auroras are just modular differences, pretty much. Like they're all just the Aurora, and the Mustangs. Well, the Mustang's a little bit more different, but. The character sits at 15 out of 120 tasks complete. Do you expect to make it into 3.8 or get pushed back? I'm hoping it makes it into 3.8. I suspect that it is working through some of the other tasks that just haven't been updated there yet, or some other bits that it needs to get done. But don't expect that to get much. Well, they might show it at CitizenCon, so maybe it will get a load of features done. The short term. But once 3.7's out, then I'd expect a load of those tasks to get completed. What the fuck? AG, look, okay. AG just donated $500 in total. I'm not even doing it. Look, oh my god. What is the deal with jump drives? How does one discover a jump gate? How do you jump to a system that has no jump gate? Exploration stuff. Also, hello. Hello, AG. Sorry I missed the last stream. I love you. You are literally the best person because you've given me so much money. I need to do some stuff for you in the future. I'll celebrate. I'll come to your funeral. I'll celebrate your life to my children. I'll name my first child AG. I'll maybe get a tattoo of AG on me somewhere in a special place, like up my arse. Oh my god, thank you so much. I don't do anything. Look, I cover Star Citizen and Star Citizen News in a very sort of like chill way. I do patch notes and talk about just news, regurgitate stuff. I do appreciate the love that I receive for it. I only started doing Star Citizen because no one else was doing it. Well, very few people were doing it, and people weren't doing the sort of like, they weren't going through the full patch notes, and they weren't analysing each individual gameplay mechanic, and they weren't sort of like, I want to catalogue gameplay as well now, so I did mining a while ago. I've just done an updated mining video, but it was more to test settings, and it was pretty lazy. So yeah, thank you so much. Like, oh my god. Ugh. I'm all emotional now. Money makes me emotional, apparently. Thank you very much, genuinely. With jump points, though, we know that there's going to be set jump gates that everyone has the knowledge of where they are. Obviously, when you discover a new system, potentially discover new systems, as you have to find a jump point to go to that new system. So maybe we scan them down. We don't know. That's the expectation, though. Like with exploration ships and some other ships, you'll be able to scan down points of interest, and you'll be like, oh, this looks like it's a wormhole or a jump point. Cool. Now, when you go to that, is there like something you have to do to map it when you first go through it? Do you have to map it? Is there danger there? We don't know. But the idea is that you'd come out on the other side to a new system, and then you can start mapping that system or make money or whatever from selling that information and data. Be like a land rush there once the information gets out. How do you jump to a system that has no jump gates? So they don't necessarily need jump gates, the systems, they just jump points. So they're an area where you can jump to the next system. But I suppose if there are sort of like jump gates, they'll be more stable so that you don't need to be in danger when you travel, and maybe they're fully mapped or whatever. But we don't know much about the jump point gameplay, and I'm hoping that we see jump points at CitizenCon. I don't know how, I haven't got the answers for you, AG. I can add it to my list of things to ask CIG. Hoping to get an office tour at some point soon. That would be my hope. But I'll ask lots of stuff at CitizenCon as well. Oh, I fucking love you. Thank you so much. Mwah. Poke me on Discord at some point, HE. You want? You need to implement server-side object container streaming. Yes, so Luke Presti talked about it the other day when they were talking about mission features, and he said it's like night and day that server-side object container streaming performance-wise for them. When do you think we'll get server-side object container streaming? I think they're gonna be pushed for it for CitizenCon, and I think we'll see it in 3.8. So by the end of this year. It's possible they're trying to push for it for 3.7, but I just think that's optimistic.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
If Star Citizen never existed, what would you be doing now? Making a lot more money covering other games. Probably doing gaming news, potentially doing something. So some of the other ideas I've had are looking at other people's more funny reviews and funny product reviews on a channel called Overwhelmingly Negative. I wanted to look at people's sort of like bizarre Steam reviews and bizarre Amazon reviews and sort of like have a bit of a rant on them. And also reviewing just everything, like review people's scams. So you could go and look at email scams and that sort of thing. Review them. Why not? The Nigerian Prince ones? 6 out of 10. But they're classic. M50 Titan Vanguard and other ships with new VTOL thrusters should use runaways, i.e. no hover. So they still have VTOL thrust. Well, they still have thrusters that point down that can be used in VTOL mode, but they're not as effective because they have the giant VTOL engines. They did say that there will be reasons to use the wheels on some of the ships. Have you heard anything about Consolidated Outland building a dual all-kind of ship Connie Killer? No, I haven't. I do suspect we'll see more ships, especially for Consolidated Outland in the near future. Dang, he is Mr. Big Balls, isn't he? Oh, Jaden Catterall, thank you very much for the resub. You're not Mr. Big Balls, HE is, for giving me all the money in the world. Could CIG make a show where they explain a single technical thing, what it means, and related blockers? Okay, yeah, I think that's a great idea. I'd also like to see them look at design of each individual gameplay mechanic as it stands at the moment. So you could have one on each individual component of science, or you could have one on quantum interdiction, you could have one on farming, all that sort of stuff. I'd love shows like that. That should cheer them up. Yeah, thanks. Unfortunately, just bipolar is not really anything to do with how well you're doing. Like, I could have just won the lottery and I'd feel so fucking depressed because I'd be like, oh my god, I'm going to die of, my eyes are going to implode. Eye implosion cancer. And oh, what's the point if I don't know, I don't understand about death, and oh, what if I just die now? Weird shit like that. So bipolar is weird. Sometimes I want to make a party and for the night not to end, and I've got loads of energy. Other times, blah, fuck the world. I know Squadron 42 will have side objectives and stories scattered around, but will it be full open world Odin system, or will you be shot down, auto-killed if you go off the beaten path? So they've said it's going to be slightly on rails. You are in the military. It's not going to be fully on rails or anything, but you won't be able to do whatever the fuck you want. You'll be able to do... you'll have a good bit of leeway. I'm now rich. This is true. Thanks, HE. I would argue that the public being able to play the game hinders progress. Yes, it does. The CIG having this sort of like farce of polishing these alpha modules every 3 months for a released product every 3 months is a bit of a... That does hinder gameplay. It's a weird thing as well, because it's sort of like, we know it's going to be buggy, we know it's going to be broken until Squadron 42 is sort of out, and then, yeah, maybe the core of the game's a bit more down, it will be a bit more stable, and they can start adding gameplay mechanics much more readily, rather than bits of the game that are still needed, like physicalized components, like, you know, stability in the flight model. Every ship that has variants should be a single hull with modular updates. Change my mind. I think that is largely true. I largely agree with that, is what I'm trying to say, not largely true. I largely agree with that. There are some differences. There are some things that I think should be variants with their own hull, like the Sabre Raven. Things like that. There's probably a few little side cases that I'm like, oh yeah, and that makes sense for it to be a slightly different version. Give it its own name, but yeah. All I want is for you to answer your email. Have I not answered my... Oh my god. Have a look. Let's have a look now. AG, send me another email. What? I might not have your email whitelisted. It's AG. Stained glass. See any messages from you? Oh no. Oh. Aegean? Andrew, is that you? Is that you, AG? I found an email from you. If it's you, I will just type I love you, and I'll remember this message. Pin flag. I will reply. I will reply to this. Oh my fucking god. When is CitizenCon? So CitizenCon this year is the 23rd of November. It's also at the same time as the anniversary sale. Well, I donated 500. I would have had at least made Bored dress up in a Beluga Whale costume for a stream. $500 for blue... Maybe... I mean, that's going to be quite a hot costume. That's probably going to cost a large portion of that. Huntress sent me, I think, $1,500 to dress up as a schoolgirl, but I did walk around a conference dressed as a schoolgirl with DC as well, and buy all the outfits, and then stream in PUBG regularly wearing schoolgirl outfits, which I still need to do more for Huntress's amusement. I love you, Huntress. Have you heard anything about Consolidate Outland? That's what we talked about earlier. Got him to pick his cat up on stream. He did. Cat hates my brother's girlfriend, who's sort of like wants the cat to love her. Do you think we could see more alien-themed hoverbikes? Yeah. Probably more alien ground vehicles in general. When is server meshing planned? So at the moment they're working on server-side object container streaming and full persistence. They are, I suppose, at the same time working on static server meshing as far as I'm aware. They've been working towards that. It's planned to be ready as soon as it can be, but it is a bit of a long-term thing. I expect it to be ready for next year, at least static. So. Making those videos, Bored. I will when Zin's working for me. I need the help of another human person that I can tell what to do. Can you scam people in game? I can scam people in real life, mother trucker. I suspect so. There'll be people selling false emergency beacons and then interdicting people and looting them, killing them, coercing them. There'll be people getting people to deliver goods from one area to another to steal their ships, things like that, I'm sure. I'm not sure to what level scamming will be an in-game mechanic beyond people working out how to scam with in-game mechanics, if you see what I mean? See the difference? Will I be able to buy a huge pet with real money? We're supposed to be able to have pets. There's going to be animals in-game, dangerous, alien wildlife and stuff like that. I'm not sure to what extent you'll be able to have and keep them as pets, but maybe all pets that you keep will be in a terrarium or like a lockbox or something. But not sure what size pet you'll be able to buy, but you should be able to get pets in the game at some point. If you could fast track any one gameplay loop and game function so it was live in the next patch, what would you choose and why? Really fucking good question. I have no idea. Potentially outpost building. I think that would, a huge amount of gameplay would come from that. I suppose just getting AI working might be a better option. So they could have like AI on the ground and AI. Oh, NPC Cruise. 100% NPC Cruise. Do you think we'll see a Carrack competitor? Well, the Corsair's sort of ish a Carrack competitor. Right now it seems that the end-all exploration ship. Yeah, it is. I mean, you might see a larger exploration ship in the future, but it's pretty big and pretty top tier. We'll catch you later. Got to go to the gym and burn off more weight since I have another 170 pounds to go. I figure it would take a year or more to lose it. No worries, Stormfire. You take care, mate. Hope you have safe travels at the gym. I was wondering, are you planning to go to CitizenCon by yourself or CI sponsored? By myself. I would not take stuff from CIG at this stage. In the future, if it's fully disclosable, I may take things from CIG once they have a game released. So if they've got Squadron 42 released, or maybe if they invite me to a release party or something, I'd consider going, but I would fully disclose that. I'm not going to take backer money, or what is literally backer money at the moment, at this stage. That's fucking ridiculous. And you'd be a shill. You'd be unable to be impartial. And people could rightly call me a shill. But they can't at the moment. They're just fucking idiots if they do now. What is the anniversary sale? I'm kind of new. So every year they sort of like sell most, if not all, of the ships that have previously been on sale or on concept or whatever, even the limited hulls. And that's around the anniversary sale, which is the late November. This year coincides with CitizenCon. What moonstone causes you to upgrade to entertained gamer? I don't know. Someone put a thunderstone up my ass, and I think it was meant for a Flareon or something, or a Flareon would be a firestone. Oh. Very good. We're good. Do you think we're on track for a 2020 beta? For Squadron 42? Yeah. I think potentially we could have Squadron 42, optimistically, Episode 1 released at the end of 2020. Or for Star Citizen, it's going to be a lot longer. Star Citizen needs to be feature complete. It's hard to... Things need to be defined in very specific ways. I think we'll see Star Citizen with full persistence and progression before we see a beta. Okay, so the last wave of CitizenCon tickets are this Wednesday, 6 PM and 10 PM UTC, in 2 lots of $125 a ticket. It's quite expensive. Do you think we'll hear any new information about the Orion at CitizenCon? Unlikely. Maybe if it's used in Squadron 42. Hello, Duke of Goa. Bleep. Do Vandal have pets too? I think we've seen Vandal dogs. They talked about Vandal dogs before, and they sort of like made them on stream, I think. Any actual medical functionality planned when the Cutlass Red is launched? Not as far as we are aware. Roberts is personally currently working on docking, to the best of your knowledge. Oh, he was doing some ship docking stuff and coding for it or something. I don't know. Don't know exactly what Chris Roberts is doing when it comes to actual working on particular parts of the game. I suspect he's managing it all, and sort of like most of the stuff that Chris Roberts probably does is reviews. So he literally looks at the different teams, what they've got so far, and says whether it's yes or no. This is right. This is ready for the next stage. This is not. Brings all of the sort of like key members together and says, look, this is what we're pushing for. This is why we're doing this. Make sure everyone's on the same page for his vision. But yeah, he'll mostly be doing review stuff, going yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Probably feedback more than that as well. No, because this. And we want it to be a bit jazzier. You enjoy the gameplay of the Warden but dislike its looks. I like its looks, but I don't like its weaponry at the moment. So, do you think the rumoured fighter for CitizenCon is going to be comparable? I don't know. It's RSI Mantis, supposed to be a 30-metre heavy fighter, but beyond that I don't know anything about it. So, even CIG paying for me for tickets would be still taking stuff from other backers, I suppose. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't offered one, so I probably wouldn't have taken it anyway. Trying to, at the moment, until Squadron 42 is sort of like released, or there's a hard date and stuff for it, I'm trying not to take anything from CIG. I'm glad that they didn't give me give me a computer or put me in a situation like that. Yeah, so Chris was working on ship-to-ship docking or something like that a while ago, I remember him saying. If the Aegis announcement is a full-on capital ship, any interest from you? Maybe. Most of the stuff I'll get in-game now, if it's like a drone corvette or something really interesting, maybe. I've got a load of ships. I don't need anything more. I can get most of the stuff in-game. That's sort of like what I want to try and work towards. If I look at it and go, I need that for early content on that, for some reason, then maybe. Pressing F key or F1 and F2 supposed to kill your throttle, or is it a known bug? So it shouldn't kill your throttle if you've pressed C, if you've got it locked. I've not encountered that. Obviously, if you're within your flight model, if you're not holding it down continuously, you do stop. Also, pressing right shift, bam, will give you, will lock you so you can't pitch when you're in hover mode, which is fucking amazing. That means you can land. That means you don't have to worry about pitching up and fucking down. I'm not a helicopter anymore, people. I'm not a helicopter. I'm a landable ship. I'm a VTOL. I'm not a helicopter anyway, but, you know. Oh, that's 2019. I could be a helicopter if I want. If a child identifies as a helicopter, Mummy, I'm a helicopter. Yes, you are, darling. You're a helicopter. My son is a helicopter. Do you think I'll be able to squeeze an arrow into my carrack? No. Well, unlikely. We won't 100% know until it's built in our hands, but expect it to be able to hold the Pisces, snub, and maybe these like P72 and P52. The idea when they might add the tractor beam mechanic. I'm very much looking forward to tractor beams. I think they're really important. I suspect that it will be coming around the same time as the evolution of the cargo system, because they need to add loads of new cargo boxes and stuff and ways to move them. So I suspect cargo tractor beams will be coming with that, or at least the first stages of them. press cruise control. Which ships do you own, not counting the referral ones? A lot of the referral ones I have converted into other ships. So, on my main account, lots of other accounts. Standalone ships. Start with standalone ships. I've got a Razor EX, I've got a Vulcan, I've got a Sabre. Game packages. Got a... this is not my main account. And I've also got a Cutlass Black, which is actually gifted to someone who applied for a giveaway when I was giving away a Cutlass Black, but they have yet to claim it. But oh my god, I'll poke them again. They obviously have stand. I've got a Raven and I've got a Aurora MR on this account. But let me go to my main account. Gamer account. Far too many is the answer, but Naga SRV, Caterpillar, Yellow Jacket, and an Anvil Ballista, or MR, Ships, Umbral Nova, a Pioneer, so the giant sort of like outpost builder, well, that's Aegis Reclaimer, 890 Jump, Banner Merchantman, an Orion, Starfarer, and I've got lots of other bits and bobs on that account as well, but that's just on my main ones. Most of that is because I want to make content on them straight away, and sometimes I have very poor impulse control, just like Linus Tech Tips apparently. Oh, lol. Also, Linus Tech Tips thing, that was a joke. Luke, very much a fan of Star Citizen, but I don't care if he is or not. And Linus, he's a YouTuber. He's quite a cheerful, funny guy, and he pokes jabs and things like that. It was banter and japes about Star Citizen in his live stream, and I thought it was very funny. So... a very big Star Citizen community from Linus Tech Tips. So a lot of people talking about it on, well, I saw some vocal people saying, oh my god, you're like, oh, this is Linus as Star Citizen is a mistake. I was like, what? That's a very creative mixture of words that you've sort of like reallocated in any way you fucking want it. Like Linus Tech Tips, I like Linus, I like Luke, I think they're good peeps. And I think a lot of people poke fun at Star Citizen, and a lot of it is banter and jokes, and have a bit of a thicker skin. Vandal Cleave is almost done. I suspect that almost all of the Vandal ships planned for Squadron 42 are almost done. You have a Herald, so I do have a Herald as well on all my other accounts, and I will be doing the news reporting mechanic once it's available. So they are building a dynamic, well, they're building a damage system so that it works with physicalized components and armor and hulls. So the idea is that it will pierce the hulls, it will pass through the hulls, these projectiles, they'll damage components as they go through, they'll damage the hull, they'll rip through stuff. You could shear a ship into two, but you could also be targeting individual components to disable them. And yeah, that's sort of part of the room system and decompression as well, but also salvage mechanics, eventually blowing bits of ships and numbing them up. Got a favourite ship out of all of those? Carrick's pretty high on the list. Banner Merchantman, Orion, they're still pretty high. Like, I love all of the industry and economy ships. I like some of the explorers. I just love Star Citizen. I like the idea of it all working together. That's what I want from Star Citizen at the moment, all of it to come together. I think we'll be able to buy ships from scrapyards and buy parts to restore it. I think you'll be able to buy really cheap components and parts from scrapyards. Yeah. I think you'll be able to buy some cheap ships from scrapyards that have just like the worst components on, or have huge amounts of wear on all their components. Maybe there's some of them are a bit dodgy, like illegal ships or stolen ships. Thoughts on a concierge reward tier that could give a code for a basic patch to give to a friend? Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Has there been any news on land games? Nope, not for a while. I knew that at the end of 2018, actually, Aaron Roberts wanted to have it in the game by the end of 2018 originally, before they sort of like moved a load of stuff around. So I still think it's probably quite high up once they've got Squadron 42 stuff out of the way. So I am thinking that we'd see land claim gameplay next year. Are you Legatus? No, I'm sort of like two steps away from the super expensive one. Like $3,000 on my main account. Linus is obligated to spend he's obligated to buy an Idris, sort of. Not an Idris, a Javelin. What do you think of Rebel Galaxy's Outlaw? I think it's fucking hilarious. They've got good humour, those guys. A direct rip-off of Freelancer and a cheap knockoff of Star Citizen. I probably wouldn't describe it as either of those. I haven't checked it out properly yet, though, so I'll check it out. They've got a good sense of humour, the devs. Data running be like Pony Express from system to system, since light speed communication is too slow for interstellar communications. We don't entirely know. So they've talked about you being able to outrun the law effectively, because they might not know that you're a criminal in your in a particular system until it's updated. But we're not entirely sure how communication and data running is going to work when it comes to law and other communications. I do expect there will be data running missions that are time-based and that are about getting the data as quickly as possible. Same as cargo missions, though. You're right, Bambi. Congratulations, first time on stream. I'm not going to be on for too much longer. What about the story about Linus that must buy a Javelin? So, I didn't say you must buy a Javelin. So basically, when Star Citizen, the earlier days of it, Linus Tech Tips and Linus and Luke, they built a community for in-game. Linus bought a Constellation, and said on the forums at some point, I believe, or on the WAN show, in fact, that they would buy the most expensive ship up to $1 per member of the org, and their org's almost at 3,000 people still now, and they were recently at like the Linus Tech Tips conference that they did, special show, whatever, the special Linus Tech Tips con that they did, and invited loads of people down. And on the stage there, they were talking about microtransactions and macrotransactions and stuff, and Linus went, everyone makes mistakes, and I bought some ships for Star Citizen, one of them in the Constellation, and then Luke went, hang on, you actually need to realise that Star Citizen and the Star Citizen community that we have is still a thing, because Linus was like, ooh, and you said that you were going to basically buy a Javelin for everyone in the org. Not for everyone individually, but for the org itself. And he's like, oh, okay. I thought that was quite funny. That's the story. Could a larger hull series load up with explosive cargo, gain speed, and dump its cargo so it hits another ship? Maybe. I expect that explosive cargo will be illegal or prohibited in some areas. I also expect that that would be very dangerous to do if that's going to be a thing at all. I want a "We Break for Nobody" bumper sticker on the back of a ship. Yes. Perfect. I want to see proper Spaceball Trooper. Spaceballs Trooper uniform in game. Fat me silly, what's going on? So what I'm showing in the background is the Squadron 42 vertical slice. So I am. See who else is streaming. Dash off for some food. Because what I want So I want to eat, and it's on a sort of nap until tomorrow. It's probably what I do. I'm in a super shitty mood, even though AG literally threw all of the money in the fucking world at me. Thank you so much, AG. Thank you so much to everyone else as well. Toblith. Oh my god, Toblith gives me loads of money as well. Got outclassed by AG. Thank you, Toblith. Oh my god. That's amazing. Thank you for all the subs. Thank you, Bob Core. GR. A budget AG. Very much appreciated. I don't know what to fucking say. Thanks for all the fucking money. That's what I was saying. Very much appreciated. Who else is online at the moment? Will cargo profits get massive boost because right now risk? Yeah, so we'll get stability in there. There'll be risk reward for smuggling on a much greater scale, I think. But when it comes to general cargo, yeah, I think that with some of the large cargo ships, you're going to have a good amount of money that you could make. Really make huge potential profits on some cargo routes. But the really simple cargo routes, maybe not. Like, you know. And it's going to be dynamic economy as well, selling it at the right time. Yes, Sway One. When do you think we'll see gas cloud technology force base come online? Probably pretty soon. We can see it in the 3.8 with this sort of like Crusader. I suspect they already have it for Odin in game now for them for Squadron 42 stuff. Yeah, the risk versus reward at the moment for cargo is terrible. Mainly because of the like server risk of stuff crashing. That's what I find. Where's the atmosphere re-entry tech we used to see? Are you talking about the sort of like halo around your ships? They haven't moved it properly, is the thing. So now, when you quantum travel to a planet, you're much closer to the surface, and you can quantum travel much closer when you come out from the surface. You're in orbit much quicker. So the actual the place where you get the heat halo is too far up. They need to adjust it. So you will see that again. They've taken everything still there. They just effectively broke it when they were trying to fix some other stuff. So you'll see it again in the future. And then they need to get it working for when planets orbit. Can you recommend any legal trading routes for larger cargo ships? I can send you to a website which will give you all the information you need. Bear with me. A couple of different thingamajigs on there. A couple of different websites listed on there that will tell you trade routes and what's making money now. 3.6.1 live, give it today. Very, very possible that 3.6.1 could go live today. The current e-build is close, if not appropriate for a release candidate. How about tracks on planets and roads for land vehicles? Yeah, I believe they are making procedural roads and procedural weathers and things like that. I'm hoping that on roads, maybe you move a little bit faster, maybe. Maybe they'll get some like traction tech or something in there. Yeah, we expect to see roads in the future, yeah. Why do you have more than one Aurora on a backup account? Because I do, I don't fucking know. I probably got upgrades and stuff that I can change them to. Well, suggestion, how about, and that's why I just talked about that. You think we'll be able to pull off most of gameplay? Do you think they will be able to pull off most of the gameplay features for 3.7? I think we will see within the next couple of weeks a bit of a rework for the 3.7 roadmap, and hopefully most of the stuff that's currently in there will stay. I do expect some changes, and then I hope that they'll be able to meet those deadlines for 3.7. We might see a 3.7.5 patch as well with CitizenCon, potentially. Right. I am going to go eat some din-dins. I fucking love your faces. Thank you so much for a ridiculous amount of money. I will try and be a bit more cheery. Today, it's been in a bit of a mood. The weekend I was a bit of a mood. I am bipolar, so sometimes I get super fucking depressed. But vast quantity of money and general people here have made me a lot happier. How many cats do I have? Probably about 6. I only really use 4 of them. I just put them at different locations. So when a new major patch is released, I'll move one to Levski, keep one at Port Olisar, have one at Area 18, have one at Hurston, so I can log on where I'm needed, or if I'm recording a particular bit of content. But I am planning to get a lot more gameplay, a lot more footage, and a lot more videos out. Video that should be coming out pretty soon, within the next hour. Sort of like more of a test for high quality 60 frames, 1440p / potentially 4K footage for the future. So tell me what you think of that. Make sure the sound's all right and all that sort of jazz. All the levels there, more of a technical achievement. It's sort of like some updated mining gameplay where I just chat and faff around with mining. Nothing particularly spectacular, but it's sort of documenting the progress and comparing it to 3.2.1's mining video that I did a while ago. But yeah, love your faces. Let's go and actual see who else is around. I'm gonna go and give this guy some love. His stream is called Hover Practice and Making Money 3.6. So, I don't know, give him some fucking tips, give him some love. Nos, the finance answer, the FN answer. I don't fucking know. I don't know what the people's names are or why they're called that. Give him some love. Hopefully he's good. Maybe he's not like a terrible person. I love you, Astropub. People were asking about you the other day. But I hope you're good. Right, I'm off. I'm gonna eat. I love you. I would say peace. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Pa, 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 pa. Doing a fucking robot dance. Don't know why.